Hi, hello, welcome, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney if you are new here, and I'm so excited that you decided to click on this video. Today we have a little bit of a reading challenge vlog that I'm excited to get into, and we're going to see if I can read The Intruder by Freida McFadden in one day. So this book came out last year. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but I'm being cautiously optimistic about it. And I want to see if I can read it today. It is almost 11 a.m., and so we're going to dive on in. It might take me 3 hours. It might take me 9 hours. I don't know, but we're going to get into it. I do have the audiobook version, but my goal is to just physically read it, not listen to it. And then I might listen to the audiobook again at a different time. But I want to see if I can. This is really just to prove to myself that I can do hard things. Because with my ADHD, I'm always getting distracted and doing a bajillion different things, and it takes me forever to read. But I'm hoping I can usually get through thrillers fairly quickly. So I'm hoping this is no exception. I can push myself to physically read it all in one day. So 273 pages. I'm usually a fairly slow reader, so it might take me a while. But that's fine. That is okay. I am here for the ride. So if you're on the ride with me, let's dive on in to The Intruder. So, we are on page 6, and the landlord is creepy. I don't like him. Think slumlord, super sleazy and slimy quid pro quo situations. I don't understand how Casey who's our main character, how she got herself in this mess. But you can read it from the summary that her life is a mess right now. And I don't know how it got so bad. I need more answers. But obviously I'm going to get more answers, hopefully. I have, 260 pages left to go. But something's just off about this landlord. He might just be a scumbag, to be honest. That might just be him. But he's so scummy. Yeah. Blech. Don't like him. So we just got through the first 5 chapters of The Intruder. One of the things that I love about thrillers, especially like Freida's books, is the chapters are typically short, so you can get through them rather quickly. And I'm about 10% of the way through, just shy of it. Somebody just showed up. We don't know who. We've seen a glimpse, but somebody is here in a storm. It's weird and creepy. I'm going to try to talk about the developments as much as I can without giving spoilers to the book. Because that just isn't fun. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. This will be a long day and I might not sleep tonight. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be fine together. It's all good. But yes, we have a development. I think it's the girl that shows up based on the summary. I don't think it's anybody else. But we'll see. There have been hints dropped to potentially what has turned her life into a mess. So we'll see what happens. Definitely intrigued, and I'm ready to dive right back in. We have reached the end of page 50. We just finished chapter 11. And the girl has arrived. She is on the property and Casey has found her. This story, it's a dual timeline. So we have 2 different POVs. And I don't know if the girl Casey finds is the other POV. One can assume so with Freida, but something is off. So, why is she holding a knife? Why does she have a knife? So, let's get back into it. Not much of an update, not a whole lot has happened, so hopefully more shows up soon that I can update you on. Yeah. Riddle me this, Batman. Why is this little girl covered in blood? That was also on the dust jacket, right? Yeah, let me double check because I don't want to give any spoilers. Yep, that is not a spoiler. But why is this girl clinging to a knife? Why is she hiding in a tool shed in the middle of one of the worst storms possible, covered in blood? That's odd. Don't know how I feel about that. Alright, we just finished chapter 26, so I'm on page 112 now. So it felt like a perfect time for an update. So, it was 112, right? Yeah. So, we're getting to know a little bit more about Ella and her backstory. And I don't want to give away too much. All I will say is going into this book, I would probably recommend looking at the content warnings just in case, even though they might be a little bit spoilery on some of the things. There are just some fairly heavy topics, but with where we're at, Casey and the girl are getting to know each other a little bit more. We're getting a little bit more of both of their backstories, and we're just kind of trying to figure out what happened with this girl. Like, why is she clinging to this knife? Why is she covered in blood? Like, why is she on the run? And we haven't got those answers yet. We're almost halfway through, but we're not quite halfway through. So there's still a lot of book to go through. So we are going to get right back into it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm not currently getting 5-star vibes from it. It's good. I don't know if it's going to be in my top 10 of Freida. So it might be. It'll probably be my top 10. Yeah. I'm saying it's going to be at least a 3. Like, and I come from the HR world. So when I say like something is a 3, that means like it met my expectations. Very run of the mill. Like, if you get a 3, you should get like the standard percentage raise. 4 would be like exceed expectations, and then 5 is obviously like superb chef's kiss. Like, you should be getting promoted. So like a 3 for me is not a bad rating. I did get in my head that anything lower than a 4 at one point was bad, but it's not. It's not. A 3 means you did your job, and this one is doing its job. So it's most likely going to be a 3 at the end of it. So I can't wait to dive in and see where the rest of the story goes today. Let's go. All right, y'all. It is the next day. I know I said that I was not gonna try to use the audiobook, but I did. So I did end up finishing it. I'm gonna give myself like a half point. I did finish it with the help of the audiobook last night. So what are my thoughts on the Intruder? So the Intruder by Freida McFadden, there's this big storm, and Casey kind of lives by herself, and is like, secluded. Like, ramshack, slumlord, rented cabin in the woods. Only one neighbor about a half mile down the street. And you get this back and forth timeline, and Casey living at this cabin, all of a sudden she's like, this girl shows up. Like this child. But she's covered in blood, and she's clinging to this knife. And you're like, what is going on? So you basically follow the two of them. There is 2 POVs that you follow, and I'm not going to give you the names of them because I might give something away, but you follow 2 POVs through like what is going on, trying to figure out where this girl came from, what's she doing here, why is she covered in blood and a knife? It has a knife. So that's kind of the premise of the story, and I will say it was good. I rated it 3.25, and I did that because it was fairly predictable at about the 50% mark. Who was who, what was going on. I will say that the final twist of figuring out someone's true identity, I did not necessarily see coming.
Uh, it was a 50-50 shot, but I was wrong. So it was not bad. It was fairly good. It was definitely entertaining. I'll give it that. It was entertaining. I would recommend. It just wasn't like the Housemaid, or like if you've read The Locked Door or Never Lie. Oh, chef's kiss on those. But this one, it was fairly predictable, but it was still a good time, easy to read. I enjoyed the characters at least, and I would recommend reading it if you like Freida, or if you want like a quick palate cleanser that you can get through in a couple of days. But it is predictable. You will probably figure it out. Now, I will say I enjoyed the ending of it because it was so. However, a thriller can be, it was a fairly wholesome thriller and a very sweet ending. So I did enjoy that as well. Mixed a little bit of the wholesome with the thriller. It was more, I would say it was like less of a thrilling story and more of like creepy. But also, if you know the characters from Frida's books, these are quintessential. This is quintessential Frida. So I would recommend, definitely encourage people to read it. But if you're expecting a 5-star out of this novel, you're probably not going to get that feeling. It is not a 5-star, but I will say that the vast majority would probably give it at least a 3. At least a 3. So that is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this book, or if you have thoughts on this book, leave a comment below and let me know what your opinions of it are. Don't forget to like this video. And if you want to see and hear more from me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell button so that you never miss another upload from me. So have a fabulous rest of your evening, day, night, whatever time this may find you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, book nerds.